Oh yeah, you like that? You like that? Stepping it up,
You
stepping
elevating it
it
up. You elevating it.
every year. It's like just gonna get a little bit better.
That's
One
it's
of
what's
these
about.
years, I'm just gonna go travel. I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm in
You
your city. Pull up.
got you got to
Let's
make
talk
you.
Bucks.
Well, that'd be official. That'd be nobody else is doing it. I'll tell you that.
Can you
That'd be
imagine?
official. That'd be
Can you
official.
imagine? In like 5 years, I'll be like, I'm on my way.
I'm on
Your
way.
week's
This
next.
this is get the camera ready, right?
I
This
love
is
it.
it.
I love it. Well, welcome everyone back to my 32 fan series, 32 different fans, 32 different teams, all the great things. This brings me so much joy to talk to you because I feel like we always say we're going to talk, we're going to get together, we're going to talk, and then we don't. And so at least I know that when it comes to like your team, we can have our conversation and we can be good. So I will let you introduce yourself. This is your third time recording with me.
It is.
And you are still the only Bucks fan that I know.
All right, I'm gonna always hold it down. I'm gonna always
Yeah.
hold it. There's not
Well,
many of us out there.
yeah. Well, let's be real though. If Shiloh, we'll talk about him in a minute, but if he ends up
Oh,
being in that team, you're going to see a lot of new
we
Bucks
will.
fans that will be like, I've been there
Nuances is gonna
since,
be deep.
yeah, I've been there since Tom Brady left.
No, you
Okay.
have not.
Here we go. Anyways, if you would introduce yourself and then let people know how long you've been a Bucks fan. And also we would like to know how many black Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans are there? I'm
Mm.
actually very curious to know, like, and where do you all hang out?
How many I know personally? Because I know. Okay. So anyway, yeah.
Go ahead.
My name's T. I go by technically T, as you see on the screen. I have a YouTube channel based around tech, but I love sports, and I always like getting together and talking sports, especially when I come to talk to my Bucks. Of course, just like you said, there's not many Bucks fans that we can talk to. All right, there's only a handful. And to answer that question, how many black Bucks fans are there? I know one of my best friend's boyfriend is a Bucks fan. One of my guys
Okay.
I follow on Twitter is a Bucks fan. That's
Okay.
I only know 4. I'm so serious.
Okay.
Only 4. I don't know a lot. When you meet a Bucks fan, you're like, wait a minute, you're a Bucks fan. You know what I mean? Like I was coming back home from work yesterday, and it was a Bentley. I kid you not, there was a Bentley coupe in front of me, and it had a black Florida tag. It was a Tampa Bay tag, and I was like, I wonder who this is. I don't know if this is an NFL player or what.
Yeah.
But you don't see Tampa fans. You don't see Tampa fans like you do Pittsburgh, like you do
Mm-mm.
Dallas, like you do Washington, Baltimore, those staple teams, Green Bay. You just don't run across Tampa fans. You know what
You
I mean?
don't.
So like me and my brother is an anomaly. Like he's a Jaguar fan and always has been. When have you met a Jaguar fan? You know what I mean?
You
Who
know,
do you even get for
it's
Jacksonville
it's
segment? You know what I mean?
it's funny. Yeah. So I found someone who's very lovely, by the way. I got, well, the other thing too, I was going to say, in doing this, you
Yeah,
start to realize that fans also come in waves. Like when a
yeah.
team is hot, it's easy to find those fans. Like it's easy right now to find a Commanders fan. It's
Oh my
easy,
God,
like
they're
certain teams
everywhere.
because they're
Yes,
hot. Right.
yes.
But like the second they go to not being relevant, not saying they're going to go to not being irrelevant,
Mhm.
but
Yep.
the second they disappear, like you can't find their fans. Like
Can't.
for the longest time, I thought everybody was a Patriots fan. Now, when I'm trying to find a Patriots fan, I'm like, where are y'all?
I don't know if
Like,
that's from the Boston. The only reason they're from Boston, they're from that area. That's why.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then when I find somebody, I'm like, are you really a fan? And they're like, no, I'm like really a fan.
There's a few teams that I don't know any fans from. There's a few that
Yeah.
I don't know any fans. You know what I mean? But that's like far west teams. I don't know one fan. You
The
know what I mean?
West
But
teams are the hard teams.
for sure.
Yeah.
Like I don't know
Yeah.
Arizona fan. I don't know I don't know a Chargers fan. I don't know any. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I don't know Jets fan. I just don't. You know what I mean?
I
So
love it. Yeah.
yeah, but
Well, and
yeah,
that's
it's
the
not
other
many of
thing
us.
too.
Not many of us.
I
But
I always
okay.
say, and you've probably seen me tweet this though. The
Mhm.
fun part about doing this is then when I connect with these people on Twitter, so then my Twitter is like a hodgepodge of team stuff.
All
So I
team.
hear stuffs from like Jets and Cardinals and Chargers and Seahawks
Yep.
and I'm like, nobody else is getting this news. I know for a fact because it's so
Yeah, I
random.
saw you were
The
tweeting that.
Vikings
Like,
fans.
my timeline is all NFL right now, and I love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
was like,
it's
yeah,
the best.
I can see that. I can see how it could be a mix of like right now, mine is heavily Browns and everywhere to Colorado because I follow a lot of Colorado stuff. So it's like all
Yeah.
where Colorado players went. And I'm like, okay, I got a lot going on in my timeline right now.
Yeah. See,
It's small
I don't
team.
have any. I have something for everything. Like if
Yeah,
you
I'm
ask
switching
me
you.
anything about a team, I can tell you something about that team. Like it's the coolest thing. And anyway, so no one's here to hear me talk about
Yes.
how cool my Twitter algorithm is working for me. But anyways, so okay. Last time I talked to you, It was before the playoffs. It was before the playoff run. You were feeling pretty confident. You were feeling pretty whatever. You weren't really sure what you were going to get out of the Commanders at the time of the recording. I feel like you were kind of like, I don't really know. Like, we should be fine, but I don't really know. Maybe we won't be. Obviously, we all know how the story ended, but I would love to know how the season was for you overall, because I feel like there's the season and then there's the playoffs.
Right.
So I'd love to know like how you felt after it was all over. And then do you have a song that describes how you felt the 2024 season went?
Well, I didn't feel too bad. I felt just the way we went out with Washington, because I feel like we had an opportunity to beat them. I was just a little bit disappointed. You know what I mean? For more, I'm just like, come on. Like, I thought we could have really buckled down and defeated them. So for me, it was kind of I was okay with the season. 10-7 is what we ended. You know, anytime we can win the division, and that's going to kind of come to the zone of choice, I'm okay with it. And if we can get to the playoffs, I'm fine with it. I knew we probably couldn't go deep in the playoffs, and what Washington did to us was exactly what I was afraid of them doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just catching fire. Jaden Daniels just, once he gets going downhill, man, it's just, you know what I mean? We fell victim to it. And I was like, you know what? As the fan in me, I wanted us to win, of course, but in the back of my mind, of like, if he gets going, we're not going to be able to stop that young guy. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what he did to us. So from us, it was just more disappointing because I feel like we had the chance to beat them, and then the game just got away from us. And I'm just like, but it was cool. The overall season, I felt pretty good. We didn't sustain that many injuries that was like, you know, real effective to the team. We didn't lose anybody major. Yeah, we lost Chris Godwin, but I mean, he's been in and out, you know, and we were going to come back to him from a future question that's going to come up later on. But the song that I have is Run This Town from Jay-Z and Rihanna, man, because we always run the NFC South. You know what I mean? Like, we do. Like, you have to come through us when it comes to the NFC South. You know what I mean? So that's what I gave. As soon as I could not find a song. And I was like, you know what? Let me go to Jay-Z, because I can kind of, you can hear
when
his
you
song
said, as soon as you
mean?
said that, I was like, I think I know what he's going to say.
Because we run it. You know, we run the NFC South. So one thing I'm always know is we're going to run the NFC South. Yes, Atlanta's getting a little scary. You know what I mean? It's our first game of the season this year is the Falcons at home in Falcons territory. So it's just like, but I feel good. I feel like nobody in the division can touch us. I feel like we have one of the best position groups in the, I'm gonna say the league, but we'll talk to that when we get to that question. But yeah, that's how I feel about it. I mean, I wasn't disappointed. I felt real good, and I felt like we draft all of our draft picks that we had last year did amazingly well, and I feel like we've had 2 great seasons of drafts, and hopefully this previous draft that we just had, I feel like a couple surprises, but all the players that we got, we needed, and I like the way they approached the draft. So hopefully we can get that same production that we got out of our last draft class and this one to just add on. I think we're looking good. I really think we're looking good coming to the season. Because we really didn't lose much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you all had, so the offseason starts, it was you all in Jacksonville with the offensive coordinator?
Yeah. Yeah, he's the head coach now, Cohen. Yeah.
Got it. How was that experience? Because I know, I mean, obviously I want to know like how the offseason was as a whole, but I know there was that weird coaching thing that happened as well.
He just like left. Like it was, I forgot what happened because it was early in the offseason, but he just like gone. Like didn't give us any warning. You didn't think he was going to leave and just dipped and went and became the Jacksonville Jaguars head coach. You know what I mean? So I think that's one big
completely screwed up the Duval thing.
Oh my God. Yeah.
No culture.
Culture. Just don't ever say that again. You know what I mean? But I think I am going to miss him. You know what I mean? When we talking about coaching, because he just really brought a very creative offensive calling to the offense. Just the plays that he drew up. He really brought like, he made that offense come alive with Baker and all those boys and Bucky Irvin, how he blew up his rookie year. Like he really came up with some creativity when it came to that room because of the talent level that we've had. You know, we had some of the best receiving cores. Very young rookie, and you got him involved and got his confidence early, and then you give Baker any more confidence than he already has. He just let those guys open up the playbook, and I love that. So it's going to be curious to see who our new play caller, how he does. I can't think of his name, but I'm curious to see how he does and if he can bring that same, you know, creativity and fun when it comes to the playbook and just letting those guys just go out there and ball. So we'll see. I love his play calling, you know what I mean? And it's definitely probably be missed, but we'll see what the new guys going on.
How do you all like Baker Mayfield? Do you all, as a fan base, feel collectively good with him? Does anybody? Obviously, you're always going to get your friends, right? Of like people who won't like anybody.
In the beginning, I think we all were like, okay, I'm not sure what Baker we're going to get. You know what I mean? Okay. But this is the best supporting cast that Baker has been around. If you think of where he's been in the league, I feel like this is the best weapons he's had. So I'm just like, now we love Baker. We're like, hey, cool. Like, I'm a ride with Baker as long as he's balling out. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a Baker fan. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude is just relentless. I love his effort. I love his grit. Like, Baker has really came along to be one of the better QBs in the league. On the sleeper side, on the sleeper, people don't think that, but when you just look at what he does, look at his numbers. The guy's going crazy in Tampa, but you don't think about it because all of your big dogs are up there. The Lamar Jacksons, the Josh Allens, the Burrows, the Jalen Hurts. But then when you just look around the outside of them, I don't think Baker Mayfield is that far when you look at his stats. You know what I mean? So he's a sleeper.
I like it. Somebody said, I don't know where it was. I don't know if it was on a YouTube channel or something. Somebody said, if you really squint, you can kind of see. We're talking about Jalen Milroe, I think. And they're like, if you squint, you can kind of see a little Lamar Jackson. Laughing.
That's funny, dude. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. But yeah, I think the fan base rocks with Baker. We don't have any. You don't see no ill will against Baker right now when it comes to the fan base.
The thing I like about Baker is that he's always been extremely confident. I like confident guys. I know a lot of people think they're arrogant and brash and oh my god, like get over it.
Quarterback there, you got to be
You're playing freaking football. Okay, like you got to have something to you.
Yep.
And I like that he has found home and he feels like he's a Buck. You know, like he feels like
100%. He's 100% Buck. 100%.
Yeah, I like it. 100%. I like good for Baker.
That's why I like it, man. I was like to see just keep playing. You know, the dude is relentless. He'll do some bonehead plays every now and then, but
of course,
you know, he does a good job overcoming. You know what I mean? So I like what Baker has going on. It took me a season. Because I think if you go back and look at the first time when he came, or when we did like our very first one, I was a little iffy. I was just like, I don't know what Baker we're gonna get, but
I wish maybe like you just made me a thought. Like maybe one day I'll do like a montage. I'm like, here's all the people that I've talked to multiple times.
I was like, I don't know about Baker, but he's proved me wrong. He's balling.
Good.
I mean,
love that.
I have no problem with him. No, I love him.
And then how did you feel about the draft? How was the draft overall for you? What was like your favorite draft pick where you were like, yes, please, thank you? And what was the draft pick where you were kind of like, let's see how that one goes? I'm
gonna tell you what, the first round pick, Ibuka from Ohio State. I did not see that one coming. When he picked him, I'm like, because we already have a very strong wide receiver core.
Yeah, it is pretty
strong. And the fact that Tampa Bay just honestly went with the best available pick. They literally went with the best available to just load up the wide receiver room. And I was just like, okay. I was thinking that we were going with Jahad Campbell from the linebacker. I thought we was going linebacker or defensive back with our first pick because I knew we needed defensive backs. And that was segues into our next two picks was Benjamin Morrison and Robert Parrish from Kansas State. I really like both of those guys. I really like Parrish because the guy runs a 4.3. He's
oh my God, y'all have Parrish?
Yeah.
I can't say it publicly why I have some thoughts, but I'll tell you after this is over. Yeah. But yes, and yes.
That's the one that I'm most excited for. And he's our third round. He's our third pick. And I'm very excited for him. That dude has a motor. That guy is a ball hawk. He's fast. And we need defensive backs. Him and Benjamin Morrison, I think. And I remember seeing and hearing about Benjamin Morrison from Notre Dame during the season. So overall, when it came to the first pick, I was like, whoa. But at the same time, I was like, that's a good pick, though. Like, you just solidified that you want one of the best receiving cores in the league. You know what I mean? Like, that is literally what was like, okay, that's bold. I did not see us going offensive first, but I like it because you don't know how many seasons you're going to get out of Mike Evans. You just don't. You know, he could retire next season.
Evans.
He's on his back end.
He's like a national treasure, though. He's like a comfort. He's like a comfort player. He's like Cameron Hayward for the Steelers. Like, I don't, you're just like, he's our guy.
I'm not going to want to see him go. Like, the guy's going to retire a buck. First round, first ballot gold jacket wear. Like, and I'm like, and then I thought about it. I said, well, that's pretty smart because you just don't know how long he has. You need another guy in there that's going to be number one, and he could potentially be a number one receiver with the rest of our young core that we have. Yeah. You know what I mean? With McMillan, we got from last year's draft, we got Chris Godwin. I have my thoughts about that too. So yeah, I think overall we did very good, and then we picked up the last two guys. What's his name? Roberts and Roberts and Tez Johnson was the last pick. I like that because that gives us a little bit of a
You never know.
That
You never,
speed. You know what I mean? He's a
especially if he
16
gains
guy.
like 20 pounds or
Yeah,
so,
if he
which
can
kind
gain
of
a little bit
gets,
of weight,
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, you know what? I always liked Tez Johnson from afar, but I like
yeah.
it. That's just adding more depth to the wide receiver room, but he could probably get immediate playing time on special teams. You know what I mean? So I
Mm-hmm,
really because he can return. He's a returner
mm-hmm.
type guy. He's small, you know what I mean? And we
He's a
did
tiny
end up
little
going to
thing.
offensive linebacker and then defensive tackle when we went with Roberts and I forgot the other guy's name from Central Arkansas. But I like both of them. They have pretty good production. I don't really know much about them, but they
Okay.
have pretty good production. I mean, we need a linebacker because we have not Devin White. Devin White was been going. Levante David, he doesn't have many years. We only signed him to a 1-year deal. So he'll be leaving. He's a vet linebacker. So you're going to have to bring in somebody young. So that was a need to get. So I think overall we had a very smart draft. The
Okay.
first pick, it did raise an eyebrow because I just did not see us going wide receiver. But if you got to
Shock
get
you.
one, he's a great receiver. Ibuka is a monster receiver. I think
Yes.
he's going to do amazing
I
things in the league.
unfortunately know up close and personally.
Oh, really? So overall, I think we drafted really good. I think that team, that office has been, I think they've been doing an amazing job the past couple of years with the draft. They've been getting some players, and we haven't had many busts from our previous drafts. Those guys are starting, those guys are in the system, they're playing well. So overall, I really liked our draft. I
That's
really liked our
good.
draft. I think we did a very good job. Another year of great draft.
So it is time for us to skirt around and have our Colorado conversation
Mm-hmm.
because in after this draft, you
Yep.
all got, well, we're supposed to get a couple of Colorado players, Shiloh
Yeah.
Sanders being one, shout out to
Yep.
Shiloh Sanders,
Yep.
and Will Shepard being another, shout out to Will Shepard. And then before everything happens, comes out Will Shepard. I don't know if he failed his physical or if he's actually just injured,
Failed
so
the
he didn't even
physical.
do the physical.
I don't know.
Whatever the situation, it is the situation. So only Shiloh shows up.
Yep.
How are you feeling after you learned? Like, what was your initial thought? You're like, that's my team, right? Because let me level set this for a second. A lot of people don't watch college football and the NFL. A lot
Right.
of people don't have the kind of dichotomy that is both. You
Right.
cheer for your college team very different than you cheer for your NFL team.
Mm-hmm.
For your college team, it's kind of like, oh, yay, woo, go. And then, but for your NFL team, you're like, no, he need a tackle. He needs to show up. It's like those expectations go up a little
That's
bit.
true. That's true.
So how are you feeling like in the moment you're like, okay, Show's gonna be a Buck.
Oh
Okay.
my God.
How are you feeling? And then how are you feeling now that it's been a little bit of time?
So Shiloh, I've never okay. Here's the thing about Shiloh, right? I love the old Shiloh. Old Shiloh was a dog. South Carolina
Yeah.
Shiloh, absolute monster. You know what I mean? Over the years, he's got a little bit slow. I mean, we've seen his concrete feet, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But I like his, I hate to use this word because it's a Coach Prime word, his resilience. Because
Okay.
the dude is shown that he wants to be on the NFL roster.
True. That's
And
true.
he is literally busting his behind to get that 40 time. And I don't know, every player probably could do this, but since the cameras are on them a little more, you have a little bit more background into it as what
Right.
they're doing to prepare. But I feel like he has just blocked out all the noise. He had a goal. He set out for that goal and he accomplished it so far. You know what I mean? So his
Mhm.
persistence, his drive, his dedication has been, I'm very proud of him for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shiloh as a person is one of the great, man, it's hard
The
not to
best
like a
person. He's
personality like
the
that.
best person.
It's so hard not to like somebody like Shiloh. He's an
Exactly.
amazing brother. You can tell from the draft from Shador.
The way he was
He's just
standing the way he
the
would
whole
not
time.
leave Shador's
The whole
side.
time. That's a true brother. That's a true friend. So the person Shiloh loved to death.
Yes.
Now, when it gets to that other P word, as in the player,
Because it's
I
your
don't
Bucks,
know.
right? Like this is I tell people this all the time. College, if football is one thing, but when you come and play with the big boys and you're with my team and you have 17 games and like this is it, and I need you to make a tackle,
I feel like he's a little too. He started late now. You know, he's a little older than the most rookies that will come out. So he's already older. You're a little step behind.
okay.
Will he make the team? I just don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know if he has the personality and all of that, but when it comes to
Yeah.
those X's and O's is what truly matters. I'm curious. I'll wait till to see when he gets his pants put on. But
Just
I
That's
want
good.
to see if that drive is going to push him to actually elevate his game up. Because the shot that I've seen the last season, he should have left the
In
previous.
2023.
Should have left then.
Yes.
He'd had a better chance.
100%.
Now, I just got to go off of what I've seen, and I've just never really been super impressed with Shiloh. He can give you a big hit. The league is not designed for him anymore with those type of hits. It's just not, you know how the league is now. You know what I mean? There's no big Ty Law, no John Lynch, none of them big booming hits. There's none of that going on. So that's something I'm just kind of watching from afar to see how it develops, because I do think he has a grind about him, a dedication about him, a persistence about him that could potentially show itself on the football field. But I just want to see it, because from what I've seen the last season in Colorado, I'm not super impressed. Let's just be real. He faced injuries. He looks slow at times. When it comes to open the field tackle, you talking about some guys, your boy DJ Giddings at Kansas State, the way he broke him down on the second level. You talking about squaring up against I don't know. You throw a running back out there. I mean,
Bijan. He's got to tackle Bijan. Yeah.
Think about him getting square with him. Come on. You know what I mean? So I'm just thinking about, if you got shook like that in college from kids who didn't even get drafted,
right?
What you gonna do when you get up here and square with an Alvin Kamara? You know what I mean? And play people like that. Think about that. You know, just think about it. Those, you know. So me, I'm like, I just got to see it. If he makes it, man, I'll be so proud of him.
Fantastic.
I would be so. I wouldn't hate. It's not that I hate Shiloh. I just, as a football, I just feel like he has concrete feet sometimes.
No, and it's your team. I'm telling. I people can't get it. I'm like, when I feel like when you watch college football and the NFL, it's different for you. Some people just watch college, and so they can't understand it. It's different. It's different. I'm telling you, it's different. I'm glad.
It's like we're not. You can't do that stuff. You can't.
No,
you know what I mean? You cannot do what you did in college. You will not make it.
It's different.
So it's something that I'm watching from afar. I would love to have him if he does amazingly well and he can provide some value, because that's one area where I feel like we do need an extra body, which is safety. You know, I mean, we have a couple DBs, we have a couple nickels that may have to rotate around that safety position. You have Antoine Winfield, which is one of the best safeties in the NFL. You got a good mentor. You know what I mean? So it's like you're set up good, but I just want to see if that drive is going to get him over the hump. And real quick, I know we don't have Will Shepherd. I was really excited about him when I first heard he drafted. I was just like, man, you got Mike Evans. You have that big body that you can learn from. And even though Will has a problem with dropping passes and different things like that from time to time, he's still a big body and you can't coach size. So I feel like if somebody was to get to him and just groom him, because he's shown amazing things at Vanderbilt. I feel like he had better film at Vanderbilt than he did at Colorado. So I was just like, man, that hurt me when I found out he failed the physicals. I said, man, you're in a loaded wide receiver room with a lot of talent. You could have really learned a lot, especially from a big physical guy like yourself and Mike Evans. Like, I just felt like that was a one-on-one mentor for him. And when he failed it, I was like, and I like Will Shepherd. I just like how physical he is. He's just how physical. Failed that, and when he failed it, I was like, oh, yeah, that kind of let me down a little bit. But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We got the one thing, so we're okay. You know what I mean?
The one thing I will say that, and I've said, and you probably know that I've been saying this since last year about Shiloh and Shedeur, quite frankly. I've always said, I think when they get out from under Coach Prime, I think they're going to be better. And I think because Coach Prime has done a good job as their parent. And I think whenever you have a good parent, I'm not saying his mom hasn't done a good job. I'm just saying we've seen Prime. We've seen him. Right. She's probably amazing too. I'm just saying. Right. Yeah, but I think the thing that he has taught them is you have to work for this and you have to go out there and show it. And now he doesn't have, he gets to be separate. He gets to go be Shiloh Sanders.
That's true.
And just because he's not with Coach Prime or with Shedeur, he's still Coach Prime's son. So he's still coming with the swag. He's still coming with the name. If he works and works hard, I think he's going to be fine. And because the other thing I always say too about the NFL is everyone isn't amazing. You know what I memean? Like there's role players still in the NFL. There's still guys where you're like, he's not him, but we need him. You know,
he has a great chance.
Exactly. Really, so, I mean, again, I don't know if he's going to make the team, but if I'm cheering for him because I like him I like him when I see him do football stuff and he seems funny.
Yeah, he's hilarious. Like he's a funny dude. You know what I mean?
So I always cheer for those type of guys.
Yeah,
so
I'm rooting for him. I'm not going to be like, ha, he don't make the team, or no, we don't want Shiloh. He's trash. No, I didn't like some of what he put on film, but I think he can have a bounce back, and I think he'd be a good fit. I really do. You know what I mean? He looks natural in that Bucs uniform. I can't even lie. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
gave you a good number. He gave you 28. I mean, that's kind of telltale for a rookie, for an undrafted free agent.
It's not a 30.
No, you could.
Sorry to everybody out there that's number 30 as a rookie.
But they gave you 28. I'm like, that's not right.
You might need to think about another option.
I'm just saying. So I like his odds. I hope he get him. I would love to see him flourish in the NFL. I really would. I
love it. Yep. And then just before we move on and talk about the season for the Buccaneers, any Colorado predictions? It is May. So this isn't like, what are you thinking so far? Do you have any season predictions? Are you kind of like, let's just see what this looks like?
I'm just trying to see what the final roster looks like. I'm trying to see who they got as the ones. I think they'll win. I think they can win 8 games.
Okay.
I'll give them 8. I don't know about 9 or 10. I'll give them 8. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But once again, very early. I got to see what everybody looks like when they get there in the fall. I got to just see what that complete team looks like. I think they have a great team. I think they have a better team than last year. I will say that. I really think they do. Overall, I think they do.
Okay. You know what? Cool. So Tampa Bay Bucs. So we're gonna shift back to the NFL.
After we get we'll talk about that.
You're losing your mind. Okay.
And that's fine. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
But how did you see the quarterback throw the ball to wide open people in the spring game?
I didn't watch
the quarterback. Oh, you didn't see him miss the wide open receivers. Okay.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Cool. That makes sense then. You didn't see the offensive line not. Oh, okay. Cool. You didn't. You know what? If I didn't watch the spring game, I would be thinking the same thing you did. So
I told me to go back and watch it. So maybe I have to it's recorded on my.
I understand now.
TV.
Yeah, I understand now. 9 wins after since you didn't watch. Anyways, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So thanks for that detour.
Yep.
So what are you expecting this season? So I feel like anytime I talk to teams that were in the playoffs last year, there's this thing where it's like, I expect us to be in the playoffs. But like, what do you expect to win the division again and be in the playoffs? Do you expect to go to the Super Bowl? Like, where are you at with how you think the Bucs are going to
100% win our conference. Okay. In the South, 100%. I feel like we can get, because I feel like we didn't lose much. I feel like we don't lose much. We just added. So, man, I feel like we have a great chance. I'm not going to say NFC champs, but I feel like we can go to second round, I would feel like.
How do you all fare? Because I know usually against the Eagles, and the weirdest thing ever, you beat the Eagles, which is weird. All the time. How do you all play against the Rams?
It can kind of go back and forth.
Okay.
Normally, we don't play the greatest against the Rams, but that's a game that can always kind of go back and forth. It can be a shootout type game. You know what I mean? Okay. But I don't really like that matchup. We played it for some odd reason. It's just like always a mismatch somewhere down the line.
It's kind of like the way probably the Eagles feel like when they play you all. Weird. Just something about it just doesn't.
About it, I don't like. You know what I mean? Eagles, I'm like, I bring the Eagles in here. I'm all good. I don't care if the Super Bowl, whatever. Bring them in. You know what I mean? But the Rams, I'm like, I don't know about that. You know what I mean? And I can't pinpoint it of what it is. It's just something about the Rams is just like, maybe I'm thinking about old playoff run, but I don't know.
It just doesn't work.
The prediction, I kind of feel that we will land where we were last year. I feel like we can get to 10 games. I feel like we can probably get to more. I feel like I really feel we didn't lose anything and only gained. And I really feel like we can be very close to the record that we had last year. We can get to the playoffs, no problem, I feel. No problem. But we'll win the division, easy. You know what I mean? Carolina Panthers, Saints, whatever. Falcons, very dangerous team. I think Falcons is a very dangerous team. That's the only team that I'm really worried about is Falcons. Very dangerous. They're young. They're hungry. Great draft. So, but I think we can kind of we should be able to get into the playoffs pretty good. I'm pretty confident about that.
That's fair.
Without a doubt.
So, what group do you think? I don't know why I don't have these questions plastered right here, so I could just look to the side and read the questions, but I just remember them, so I just stopped there them. But who do you think the most underrated position group is? Player? How do you feel? Who's the person on the team that nobody ever talks about? Or who's that position group where you're like, nobody knows how good this group is, but it's actually really good?
I think the receiving group is one of the best in the NFL. I truly do.
Yeah.
Like, we have Mike Evans, we got Chris Godwin. If he can be now, but let me stay on topic. We have Chris Godwin. All right. If he can get back to where he was before he got injured, and then you add Ibuka on top of them, which is a rookie, which is a dynamic rookie, and then you add McMillan on top of that, which was another great rookie that we drafted last year that's going into a sophomore season. I think that is just a great receiving core that is very talented. You know what I mean?
Who's your tight end?
Oh my God, what is that guy?
Oh, sorry, I just put you on the spot.
No, you
I
didn't.
hate when
I have my depth chart up.
I don't mean to do that.
And usually, let me see. Usually I know my whole lineup, but who is the turn tight end?
I can't even see his jersey. Usually I can see a guy's jersey and then I can tell you his last name, but I can't even see his jersey. And what number is he? Is he 87?
No, you're still thinking about Gronk. Cade Otton. That's right. And then we got Devin Colt from Washington last year. That's right. Yep. What?
How long ago?
That's what you were thinking about when you said 87. No, you're clearly thinking about Gronk 100%.
It came out so easy. I was like, who was it? 87? You're like, no.
Cade Otton and Devin Colt is a third string, and our second string is, who's the second guy? He is Payne Durham. I don't know who that is actually. So yeah, Cade Otton, which is pretty solid. Solid. He's a vet, so yeah.
I like it. Okay. What is a hot take about Tampa Bay that people or maybe even the fan base would be like, nah, he's lost his mind. We don't believe that here.
Probably, like I said something earlier, I think Baker Mayfield is one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. I think that is a very hot take that people will argue me down about. But if you look at his numbers and what he did, is crazy.
Are you putting him top 5 or top 10?
Top 10.
And the entire NFL?
Mm-hmm. Maybe I got to go through my list, but I think if he is, he may be number 10. You know what I mean? I have to go through my top 10. I think Baker can be up there. I truly do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think once you get past the guys, the Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen,
second tiers. Just think about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, and I think that's fair.
Daniels, maybe.
I wouldn't even put him up there yet because he's had one season.
Quarterbacks who you'll put after that? Bo Nix, maybe. Correct.
No, because I wouldn't put any rookies up there.
Right after that initial 5.
What is it? 5?
Who do you put after that at 6, 7, 8, 9?
I think that the next tier would be
like who's
Jordan Love. I know I'm just naming quarterbacks.
Yeah, I got you. I think Baker can even go to the top 10.
Jordan Love. There's like Kyler Murray. I don't think he would be up there. There's
you see how he can
Jared
get
Goff. Yeah, Jared Goff wouldn't be there.
That's what I'm saying. I think
CJ Stroud. I don't think I'd put there.
He's a top 10 quarterback in the league. I really do.
I don't care. Tennessee doesn't even have a quarterback.
No,
Jacksonville, I wouldn't put Trevor Lawrence up there.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you might be right.
You guys,
the Steelers don't even have a quarterback.
Seahawks. You gotta think about the Jets. I don't put Justin Fields up there. So if you think about it, after that top 5, Baker's a top 10 quarterback in the league easily.
Yeah, Cleveland has 5 quarterbacks, and I wouldn't put any of them up there.
No, that's what I'm saying. Minnesota.
I don't even know who their quarterback is. Oh yeah,
he got hurt. You see what I'm saying? So once you get past that second, Baker's top 10. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'm sold. I'm sold.
Top 10 easily. You know what I mean?
But you know what's actually funny? It's not. It is a hot take because when you first hear it, you're kind of like, okay, hold on.
Yeah,
but when you think about it,
you're like, you know what I mean?
Who would I put in front of them is the thing. Once you name the 5, who's 6 through 10?
Think about it. Really sit there and think about it. Think about the playoff run.
Because like Dak, I wouldn't put him up there.
You don't want to put any rookies up there though. So if you don't,
I'm not doing any rookies. They've done one thing. They've won one season.
You're not putting Bo Nix. You're not getting any of them up there.
No.
So it's like, okay, who else made that playoff run that you would put in there? Jordan Love.
So if you want to put him up there, but then Jalen Hurts would probably be 6. He'd probably be on the cusp of like after Burrow, after
he'll be 6. I give him 6.
Josh Allen, so he'd be 6. But 7, 8, 9, 10, I don't know. Matthew Stafford would probably. He'll be up there somewhere. He'll be up there somewhere.
Yeah, some 7, 8. Yeah, he can be up there.
He'll be up there.
But I think I personally feel like Baker is the top 10 quarterback in the NFL. I really do.
I don't think I disagree with you.
When you look at his numbers, you're like, you better look at his numbers. Dude is going crazy. You know what I mean? So it's just like the best career he's ever had in the NFL while being with Tampa. The dude is playing lights out. So
I like it.
I think that's something that people don't. I've said it with my boys, and they were like, "What in the world? You must be." I'm like, just look at the numbers. I'm just check. Just look at what he's doing. You know what I mean? So
even if you don't look at numbers, you could just look at team growth. You could just look at team.
There you go.
What is it like? Team camaraderie or like trajectory.
Just to see what we've been, how we've been performing. Just look at it. We've been in the playoffs. Like, just think about what we've done. Like, Kirk Cousins, no. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely not.
Think about all the other quarterbacks. So I think a hot take is he's one of the best quarterbacks, not one of the best, but top 10 quarterbacks in the league. Easily.
I like it. Listen, at this day and age, I would take Baker in Pittsburgh. I mean,
you got Mason.
I would just take a quarterback in Pittsburgh.
Who you guys have? Mason Rudolph? Is that his name?
Yes.
His name. No, you got Will Howard. Ohio State. National championship winner right there.
You know, you're not going to trigger me. Okay? You are not going to trigger me. You are not going to do it. Nope. You will not win. So the next question is...
Oh man,
I'm not going there. So the next question is
oh my God.
Now I have to say this. What the fuck, Mike Tomlin? What are you doing?
I just knew you guys were gonna get Shador. Did you want Shador?
Yes.
Oh, you really did. I always wondered that. Did you really want him though? Because I kind of know how you feel about Shador a little bit.
How do I feel about him? I do think he holds into the ball too long, and I do think he runs backwards, and that's crazy.
Do you think he's a first round pick? Do you think he's a first round quarterback?
Yes. So I believe first round is dictated on what your team looks like. So not everybody should have taken him in the first round. Do I think the Steelers should have taken him in the first round 100%. Because we didn't have a second round draft pick? Yes. But if the Steelers had a second round draft pick, would I want the Steelers to take him in the first round? No. Does that make sense?
I get you saying.
So because, and I think my other thing is this. When you see him sliding and you still don't take him, that is actually my issue. My issue is not so much you didn't take him at 21. We're the Steelers. We're going to go defense. We're going to go linebacker, offensive line, defense line. Like, we're the Steelers. That's what we do.
We'll talk about that. That was crazy. I could go a whole session talking about that. That was
But when he started to slide and we still didn't do it, that pissed me off. Like that,
insane.
That was the moment where I was like, and of course, you know me. So I'm kind of reaching out and I'm kind of like, what is the thing? What are we doing? Is this even a thing? Should I just let it go? Are we like,
I know, but you know what though? Talk real quick. I know we're derailing right here, but it's okay. Mike Tomlin, I always loved Mike Tomlin as a head coach. He lost a lot of points for me when he made that comment about why he passed on Shador. Is because they don't want to bring any off the field concerns. What is that real? I mean, it seemed real. Why wouldn't it be real?
I don't think he would say that.
You saw that it was quoted everywhere. He had to have said it. You didn't see it?
Are we sure?
We can talk about it. We can just go back around.
I don't know if he actually said that. I will be honest with you though. I've said this a couple of times publicly. I actually have Shador Sanders muted on my Twitter. So I don't see anything.
He doesn't say anything. We're legendary.
No, I just don't. So my point is when everybody's talking about him and stuff, I don't see his name. I don't see it. So I don't see it. But I don't. If Mike Tomlin said that, I would be shocked.
Do some research. I felt like that was far-fetched to me, and I was like, I lost a lot of respect for you because Shador ain't never did nothing but play ball. That's it.
I would be shocked if he said that.
Let's look at that when you got those spare moment. You know what I mean? Just look it up. We'll talk about this when the camera goes off. I know we got to get back focused, but
because we're talking about like the Tampa Bay fans that have tuned in, like all three of them are like, this is some bull.
Hey, look, man, good football conversation happens like this, man. It can get derailed, man. We got a lot of opinions, big opinions, man. We can go all night.
Yeah, they're like, "What about us? What about us?"
Right.
And then I was petty and I said 3. I love you guys. I was
Okay,
just being
all right.
petty. Okay, if you
I'll
don't
take
know
all
me,
three.
I
I
will
will
throw
take
some shade.
all
Okay.
three, and we're gonna ball out. I'll take all three. I'll take it, man. I'll
All
take
that
it.
matters is you win. Who cares
That's
how
it.
many fans you
That's
have?
it. That's it.
Well, I'm gonna look up if Mike Tomlin said that crap because I don't think he said it, but let's see. What if you were GM for a day, what move would you make?
Like right now?
Right now. Right now.
I was gonna say, figure out how in the hell we can get Trey Henderson from the Bengals.
Oh, oh my God. I kid you not. I have
What
recorded, I am almost
do
done
we
recording
have
all
to
these
do to get
episodes.
him?
You're probably like the 6th or 7th person that has said
What
that.
do we have to do to get him? What
That
do we
is
gotta
so
do?
funny.
What do we gotta do to get him? I don't know.
That is so funny.
The guy's about to be floating out there. You know what I mean? So
I just looked at what Mike Tomlin said about Shador Sanders.
hmm?
None of what you said he said is up.
Maybe it might have been a false report, but I thought it was tweeted from. I thought it was coming from one of those. I don't know. Maybe I have to go back and look at the tweet again. I felt like that was very not like him to say that. I'm like, I don't really sound right, but to say that about I don't know. Anyway, maybe not.
Yeah, I don't. My thing is this:
Maybe
we
not.
all know the type of guys that Mike Tomlin has drafted. You
Right.
can't say that about Shador Sanders
You
and then
can't
draft
say
some of the
about it.
guys that
That's
you're
everybody was
drafting.
just like, wait a minute, that don't sound right. You know what I mean? But we'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
either way, you know,
Anyways, he did. I don't think he said that. I think that was a lie. Yeah.
okay.
Back up off my coach. I get defensive of Tomlin. I can talk trash about him. Okay.
I like
Nobody
Tomlin.
else can.
I just felt like if he said that, I'm like, that is crazy for him to say. But okay, I'm glad it's not. I don't want to spread fake news. It stops right here. But I was just like, I felt that was very uncharacteristic. So anyway, yeah, that's what was going around.
Yeah, I'm going to be up to. I'm going to be. Really? Anyways, I'll have to research that. So, this is like the fire round because now I'm triggered and I'm hot. So, I'm just kidding.
All good.
I'm just kidding. I'm coming back to reality. So, which division rival do you love to hate and why?
It's almost a tie between the Falcons and the Saints. But I have to say the Falcons because I live in Atlanta, because I live here in the area. So therefore, that's who I have to battle with every single day. And then when I go to the games, it's absolute war. You know what I mean? So it's so close because the Saints fans get so passionate. They really get mad. Like Saints fans will fight you. You know what I mean? Like we're Falcons fans, we'll beef and we'll go crazy. But at the end of the game, we're dapping each other up. We having the ball. You know what I mean? Falcons fan might be like, get your damn hand away from me. Like, I'm not even joking with you. You know what I mean? They take stuff serious, but I really like messing with Saints fans because they get so serious and passionate and they know they suck. So that's why I really like messing with Saints fans in particular. So I call it kind of a draw between the Falcons and the Saints because of how their fan bases react. I love messing with Atlanta fan bases because I get some hardcore trash talking when I go to the Falcons game. But when you go to the Saints, if you do something to the Saints, they be ready to fight for real. You know what I mean? And they know they suck. So I'm like, you guys aren't going to win anything. They get so mad. You know what I mean? So, and that was a team that I hated to play. I hated to play the Saints back when they were loaded with Breeze. And I did not like to play with. But no more, they're trash now. The Falcons, you got a little room to talk now. So now that rivalry is going to get really gritty. You know what I mean? But the Saints, I love messing with Saints fans because they know they suck right now and they can't do nothing about it. You know you can't beat us. So I love messing with them right now. As of right now, that's my whooping block of the division right now.
I love it. If you could change one thing about your franchise, what would it be? So ownership, uniforms, stadium, logo. People have said interesting things. What would be your one thing that you would change?
I wouldn't change anything about the uniforms or the stadium. I love Tampa Stadium. This may sound really far-fetched. I don't know how I like Todd Bowles as a head coach. I don't, because I used to love the fire that Bruce Arians brought. And when I see Todd Bowles, I was thinking him as this real soft-spoken guy. And he just, I need a coach to bring that fire.
It irks me.
It irks me. Yeah, well, guys, he was calling the draft picks. Well, we're going to pick you and then try to calm down. I want my coach to cuss you out. You know what I mean? I grew up with coaches getting cussing, chewing your behind out. I wouldn't say I would get rid of him, but I'll tell you what I would do. I'll bring Byron Leftwich back as my offensive coordinator. Because he should never been fired. Give me back Byron Leftwich right now as my offensive coordinator.
Okay.
Because he should never been fired in the first place. So he still should be the offensive coordinator right now.
Is he in Colorado? Or is he just
they showed him as a coach. As like
they never did?
They did. One time on well off, but people haven't seen him since then, so they don't know if he's just going for the off season or what. So I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, give me one thing. I want Byron Leftwich back. I really like him as a play caller. I really feel like he did some of those same things that Cohen did when it came to the offensive play calling. I loved him. That was one of the moves that I could not stand when they got rid of him. Because it was not his fault why we did bad that last year with Brady. It wasn't on him in the play calling.
Right.
And they got rid of him. And I cannot stand that. It's like they had to give somebody a fault besides letting the Brady. Guess what? You just didn't play that great.
Just didn't play well.
So you're going to get rid of Leftwich. Never liked that move. That was one of the moves that made me, I was so mad with management with that move.
I can understand that.
I really think, and now he's without a job. You know what I mean? I think he could be an amazing offensive coordinator for somebody in the NFL right now. But I like Byron Leftwich.
If you could swap one player from your team with the team of your rival, who would it be and why? And you got to swap them. So you got to send, and you got to get, and then you got to send. And no, you can't send Shiloh.
No, I will send. I will swap Bucky Irvin and Bijan Robinson out.
Ooh, Bijan! I love me some Bijan.
I love him or Alvin Kamara. Even Alvin in his late years, just how versatile he is as a back, catching out the backfield. You know, he's just having a hard time right now because the Saints just don't have a good team right now. Yeah. I still think Alvin is one of the premier backs in the league. I really do. You know what I mean? But if it had to be one person, man, give me Bijan Robinson, man. That dude's a monster. That dude is a monster, man. Give me him right. I get behind our line. Oh, man, give me Bijan all day long. That dude will be
Who are you? So you're sending, and you're sending him quick.
You can take Bucky Irvin.
You're like, you can have him.
You can have me a 2-for-1. Bucky Irvin and Rachaad White. Give me Bijan all day long. That dude's a monster. I actually really like Bijan Robinson, yo. Yeah, I really do.
Me too. He's one of my top 5 Texas players of all time.
He's a monster. He's a monster.
Yeah. And he's as advertised, like not just like as a player. He's as advertised as a human. So you don't find that
they love
often.
Him. They love him here in Atlanta. They love him down here.
He's amazing. I mean, they still love him in Austin. Like he's So anytime he pops up to a UT game, it's like, oh my God, and he's the guy that will take pictures with all the little kids and all the little,
you know. He should be. Yeah.
Yeah, he's that guy. And then the last question is 3 words that describe your fan base.
Quiet.
That's a good one.
Stop. Quiet. Loyal.
Okay.
And optimistic.
Okay. Listen, if you are a Bucs fan and you watch this episode, you need to comment in my comment section below. Okay.
It's not me.
I am convinced that you all are hiding under a rock and on purpose because no one has ever asked you about your fandom. No one's ever called you to the carpet. No one's ever given you the space. Like, I need you. This is my ask. If you are a Tampa Bay Bucs fan, come enjoy this. What do you like? Do you like the trenches? Do you like running backs?
I have 12,000 followers on Twitter. If I put, hey, if you're a Bucs fan, comment down below, and I guarantee you might get 4 or 5 people. I'm telling you.
But those games are packed.
Oh yeah, we did. Because I tell you, we're quiet.
Yes,
we're very quiet.
You know what it is?
We're quiet.
Y'all are like because Tampa Bay is kind of a nice, it's also a nice little area.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like whatever. So y'all are those fans. Y'all are like the fans where you're like, yeah, we're football fans, but like we don't need to partake in like.
No, we good. We good.
We're
No, you're right. You just don't meet Tampa fans. You just don't.
You don't. Listen, come out of hiding. If you are a Tampa Bay fan, come out of hiding. If you are a Jacksonville Jaguar fan, come out of hiding. It's like, come on.
It was my brother and one of my good friends who's from Jacksonville. That's it. Never met Jacksonville Jaguar.
I throw a rock and I'll hit a Steelers fan.
When I meet a Tampa fan, I'm like, oh my God, you're a Tampa fan? You know what I mean? Like, let's talk. Let's be friends.
I love that.
You're right though. You're real. You're real.
Yeah, like come out, like just say hi in the comment section. You know what?
We're quiet.
I will
Like
even just give you a red heart if you say come out in the comment
we're
section.
quiet.
Just,
I don't know what it is.
yeah,
We're
I never
quiet
see
as a
him.
fan base.
I
We're very
never see
quiet.
him. Yeah. Anyways, well, that was all I have for you. And I could talk to you for 9 hours about all these different topics.
All these different Colorado to just teams across the league. We can especially Colorado. Yeah, we can really go on with that. Yeah. Have my thoughts about that. Have my thoughts.
So watch that spring game, the Colorado spring game.
I'm gonna go back and watch it. You're the second person who told me to go back and watch it. Well, see, the other person told me to go back and watch it for good reasons. Because they were saying to show how Pat Shermer now is calling all these different type plays that he did while Shador was there. So there was like that aspect of it.
What you're saying is my issue with football watchers. I feel like now I'm gonna go on a rant. Yep. I feel like we watch, some people watch football to see what they want to see, not to see the big picture.
That's true.
Because if the play design looks great, that's fantastic. But if the play design is amazing and the offensive line isn't blocking anybody and it's a spring game and it's vanilla, I have a problem.
Yeah.
So yes, I can give Pat, like, it's a pie for me, right? 5% this, 5% this. It's like, what are we looking at? If I see a wide open receiver in a vanilla spring game, I need my quarterback to throw the ball to the wide open guy and I need him to catch it in stride and score a touchdown. Mm-hmm. Not throw the ball in the dirt. Like, so my point is,
who did that? Which quarterback?
Kane Salters.
I have my thoughts about that too, but
so, and then like I get, like, you can say Juju's a freshman, he's going to be nervous, he's going to be all those things. I don't need him. I don't need the ball to be hyped and him to like not be able to get the ball. Like, again, if you're going to tell me it was vanilla, then we need to do everything perfect, right? It needs to look amazing because this is vanilla stripped down. We all know the plays. We've been running this for a week. We know. Yeah. And we got out there and I was like, dude, I literally was like, did we practice? And let me tell you the worst part, and then I'll stop it, is there was probably at least 10 penalties. False starts.
Now, I did hear about that. I do remember hearing
How
about
are y'all false starting?
Yeah, I did hear about that.
Why are you rushing?
I gotta go back and look at it now. It's recorded on my YouTube TV. It's recorded. It's just sitting there because I wasn't home and I wasn't able to watch it at the time when it was first came on. So yeah.
So those are my like selective problems. And for me, if you cannot be disciplined in that type of game, So, and then we did the 7-on-7 drills. You know how I feel about that. I'm not going there, but you know how I feel about 7-on-7 drills during a spring game.
That's kind of yeah.
Exactly. Anyways, we're going to end on you. Tell me something positive. Tell me something amazing about the Bucs, and don't talk about my Steelers unless I'll get triggered again.
I mean, if you want to watch one of the best receiving cores in the league this year, man, tune into the Bucs. We're going to run the division again. We're going to do what we do, and I think we can shock some people. We only added. We didn't lose much. We only added on to it. And I think there's good things to come. The teams, they feel very confident. We have confident rookies. Competition in the conference will be pretty good, especially when it comes to the Falcons, but that's it. So I feel like we will be back in the playoffs again. And I feel like with the right matchup, we can make a run. We never know. I don't want to see Commanders again. Don't want to see
you're like one of the few fan bases that's like, give me the Eagles, not the Commanders. No,
I don't want to see Commanders, man. Them dudes on the run, even though I think he might hit a sophomore slump this year, but that's another topic.
We'll see. Awesome. Yep. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for everything. And thank you also for just being amazing and supportive and just someone that gives feedback. And like, I don't think we have enough people in the world that are giving us feedback and giving us good conversation and that are like holding us to any type of standard. So I just appreciate that about you. And I appreciate that you also know that I'm crazy as hell and you don't mind. So thanks.
Doesn't bother me one bit.
Right. I'll talk to you later.
You already know. Later.